So you want to see me drink some really, really, really expensive Redbreast Irish whiskey? Yeah, me too. Let's drink some whiskey. Welcome to Whiskey and Whiskey. I'm Brian Hennessy, the Whiskey Chaser, and we're coming to you from a fantastically different location today. Unfortunately, because of the COVID restrictions and the lockdowns that are imposed in Ireland at the minute, I can't really travel that much. And instead of missing out on a show, I said I'd make some arrangements, and the Anthony and Liam in Christy's bar have been kind enough in Kilkenny to allow me to take over basically for the day and do my whiskey show in here. So I'm coming to you from one of the coolest bars in Kilkenny with one of the biggest whiskey collections in Ireland, I would say. Check this out. So on today's show, we're going to be talking about Redbreast, and in particular, a very brand new, a very expensive, and a very old Redbreast that was just recently released for the Whisky Exchange in London. This is the Redbreast 30-year-old all port single cask, bottled exclusively for the Whisky Exchange. Let's jump in. So the Whisky Exchange is a family business that was set up in 1999. They are located out of London, England, and they are one of the biggest specialist retailers of whiskey and other fine spirits. Very popular in England, obviously. They have a huge online presence. They typically have about 2,500 single malt scotches on their website, and they also dabble in different types of world whiskies. This is one of the single casks that they have recently released on behalf of them. It's technically that was bottled exclusively for them, and their name is on the box, but it's actually not the first one they've released. But funny story, they actually released one in 2016, and it was the first ever single casks from Redbreast to be bottled for anyone, and it was an all sherry single cask. I'm not too specific. I think it was a 15 or 16-year-old single cask Redbreast, but it was the first single cask Redbreast that had ever come out, and this is their second release, and it is the first all port single cask from Redbreast, and it's also the oldest Redbreast whiskey, the oldest single cask Redbreast whiskey to be released. So you've no doubt heard about Redbreast. Obviously, you're familiar with the Redbreast 12, cask strength, Lustau 15, Redbreast 21, the recently released Redbreast 27, which was a port cask as well. It was released at a core lineup. So what are the single casks? Well, the single casks are basically bottlings, or the very best that Middleton Distillery has to offer in terms of the Redbreast range. They are examples of excellence. They are the cream of the crop. They're hand selected, they're put aside, and typically speaking, it's whiskey outlets or pubs that have a deep affiliation with whiskey that come out with these. Currently to date, there's 16 different bottlings. I know it's a lot, but there's 16 different bottlings. I'd love to get to drink every single one of them for you, and I have tried a lot of them. This is every single one of them right here. All 16 bottles. This is one of the newest ones. It's a 30-year-old all port. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna drink a little bit about it. While I do, I forgot my glass. Oh God. Have to have a little drink of it. So Redbreast whiskey has a bit of a heritage to it. It was founded by W.A. Gilbey's in 1857 in London, and by 1861 they had become successful wine importers and distillers, and by 1866 they actually had moved to a premises in Dublin where they had a massive stores and offices. By 1875, they were selling about 83,000 cases of Irish whiskey. Just to give you a bit of perspective, when you compare that to 38,000 cases of Scotch, you can begin to see what kind of an industry that the Irish whiskey had back in those times. By 1857, W.A. Gilbey's were marketing John Jameson and Son Soul Make Pure Irish whiskey. If we jump to August 1912, we get the first official reference to Redbreast J&J liquor whiskey. It was a 12-year-old, it bared the 12-year-old mark on it. So they say the name Redbreast actually came from the then chairman of W.A. Gilbey's, who was an avid bird fancier. And Redbreast apparently is the only bird that sticks around in Ireland and hardens out the very tough winters. It's a year-round bird that can be found here. The success of Redbreast continued up until 1971, 1972, when then IDL had taken over and stopped actually selling casks out of the distillery. They completely eradicated that behavior, and subsequently then the following year, 1972, they closed down Bow Street. 1985 was the last year that Gilbey's had bottled any type of bottles with the Redbreast logo on it, and it was 1986 they sold the actual brand name Redbreast to Irish distillers. It wasn't until 1991 that IDL actually started releasing Redbreast again, and it took off. The popularity of the brand started taking off again, and it was a further 25 years from that until we've seen the first single cask. So look, before we get into actually drinking this beast, guys, what Irish whiskies do you want to see me drinking? I'll happily go and drink top shelf all day long. Comment down below and let me know what you want to see me drinking. It's as simple as that. Let's get into drinking. So the all-port 30-year-old single cask Redbreast from the Whisky Exchange, hand-selected by Billy Knighton himself. It was laid down in 1989 by then Master Distiller Emeritus Barry Crockett. Now, you'll be familiar with that name, and keep an eye on this channel for that. This was initially matured for 6 years in ex-bourbon barrels, and then in May of 1995, it was transferred to port casks from the Douro Valley in Portugal, where it stayed there for 24 years. This release yielded 444 bottles at 57.2%, cask number 38635, and look at that, that is beautiful. Even the new boxing and labels that they have from Redbreast are outstanding. Will I have a little drink? We will. So this bottle went for 675 sterling, and by the time you actually transfer that over to Irish euro, it turns out to be, I think it was 800 euros. That's with Irish VAT and duty on it. At a release price point, this is one of the most expensive, if not the expensive now. Yeah, I didn't buy a full bottle of it. It's 800 euros. I got a sample of it. It's a 50 ml sample. Look at, why not? Look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but that is like it's like an auburn, nearly browny color to it. I can see the oils and the tears on the glass, and it's just, the hang time is incredible. I won't lie, I've had this for like, I'd say about 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks sitting, waiting to do this video. I had a tiny little sup of it last night, and it's ridiculous. So yeah, straight away, you're getting the real exotic fruits, deep, dark stone fruits as well. Dried fruits, all the fruits. You're getting all the fruits. Oh, you just get little hints of vanilla in the background. Definitely getting a type of mango. A very light cinnamony spice. Maybe a bit of brown sugar as well. It's so complex. It really is complex. There's a lot on the nose. And I don't want to actually, I don't like saying something about nosing a specific whiskey, and because you can reference it, you can focus on that one scent, but I was doing a bit of reading up on the Whisky Exchange's website, and the tastings or the nosings that one of the guys at the Whisky Exchange gave, he said one of the notes, it smelled like gummy bears. Close. There is that real sweetness to it and that fruitiness to it, but I didn't want it to say it because then it would stick in my head for too long, and that's all I would think about. You get that hint of oak then after it sits in the glass for a little while, and a little bit of plum comes out in it. So all the berries, all the exotic fruits, mango, vanilla, plum. Yeah, let's have a little drink. Sláinte. wow. That is it is so vibrant and fresh and fruity. And it is a burst. It is a burst of fruits in your mouth and berries. I kind of get that, wow, I do actually get that gummy bear note in the back. It lasts. And it's well balanced. It's not all at the back of the throat either. You get the real nice light sugars at the front, and the real burst of fresh fruits. Obviously you're getting the exotic fruits coming through, and you're getting, in typical Redbreast fashion, you're getting the stone fruits, the dried fruits. But what's different about this is just the real vibrancy of it, the burst of exotic fruit like mango and. Yeah, it's still. Now, this is 57.2%, and I do like my whiskeys to have a bit of bite in it and a bit of fight on it, but it's well done. It sits in perfectly. There's no bitterness to it. There's a lovely bit of vanilla, even a hint of, I want to say caramel, but it's not as burnt as caramel. Maybe a toffee. A little bit of toffee, and then it stays there. It's all there. It just continues to be there. That is an outstanding example of what a single cask should be. Of course I'm going to say that. I mean, it is 30 years old. It is all port. It is the oldest. It is one of the most expensive. Get the wooden tannins then as well, is definitely there. That is like a meal. It's like chewing a meal. When I'm sitting at home and I'm nosing whiskey, I often get given out to it. It's because I'm chewing it. That oiliness in the mouth, that density. It's really good. Really, really, really good. I'm half tempted to actually purchase a bottle of it. I'll leave a link down below to where you guys can have a look at this and see the taster's notes. Billy Abbott is his name, who put up the tasting notes, and I definitely do get the gummy bears. Billy, nice one. So yeah, definitely a Redbreast fan, but if you guys get a chance, do check it out. Now, I don't know if you're going to pay that kind of money to get a single cask and drink it. If you have the funds, why not? You only live once. Fuck it. May as well live a little. So yeah, that's my review on the Redbreast 30-year-old port bottled exclusively for the Whisky Exchange. Outstanding example of Redbreast. Really enjoyed that. Just love the whiskey in general. Check it out. I'll leave a few links down below. Guys, if you did like this video, please like, subscribe, share away, and please comment down below and let me know what whiskeys you'd like me to try. I'm here to try them for you. I'll give my honest review, and I have some really big things planned for the channel. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but my hands are a little bit tied now because of the whole COVID restrictions, but we'll make do. I'll still keep these informative videos coming to you, and I'll leave all the information down below to where you can find absolutely everything. And if you like, hit me up. I'm really active on Instagram, The Whiskey Chaser. And yeah, like, subscribe, as I said, and we'll get you more content. And until next time, I'm Brian Hennessy and The Whiskey Chaser. Sláinte.